Well, good morning, Dan.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Welcome to our show.
Merry Christmas today.
Thanks for tuning in. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
We're broadcasting live from the Holy Land.
Yes, Christmas in Bethlehem.
Christmas in, no, not Bethlehem, Jerusalem.
Okay, but it's Israel.
It's Israel.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all over Israel.
We're all over Israel in Bethlehem.
Okay, we're in Bethlehem.
I thought that's where we landed.
No, the Holy Land is Jerusalem. So we're in the Holy Land. Bethlehem is just a little city outside of Jerusalem.
Yes, but it's Christmas in Bethlehem.
Okay.
It says Christmas in Bethlehem.
Pennsylvania? There's a
Bethlehem in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
No,
Let me check my plane.
We're in Israel.
Let me check my plane ticket, see where I am.
Don't you remember where we landed?
No.
We landed in Bethlehem.
Okay.
You want to be in it? You want to be somewhere else?
No. We took off from the beautiful steppes of Kazakhstan with the supplies for the space station, and somehow we landed in Israel.
I know nothing about Bethlehem. Do you know a lot of stuff about Israel and Bethlehem?
I know all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah? Tell us.
What do you want to know?
Just tell us what you know. Start somewhere.
Israel was first proposed as the homeland for the Jews in the 1920s by a British prime minister, and it was established after World War II. So a couple of decades later, it was established by the UN as a homeland for the Jewish people. And it was pretty much taken away from some Arabs that lived there, and that's what the conflict is about now.
Oh, really?
Between the Palestinians and the Israelis.
What the whole fight is about, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
And the Palestinians, they're Jewish, or the Israelis are Jewish?
Yeah, the Israelis are predominantly Jewish. There are some Arabs that live in Israel as well. The Palestinians are predominantly Muslim.
Really?
Yeah, virtually all of them. I think it's like
this is what I don't understand. It says, hope for
something.
peace springs eternal in Bethlehem, a Christian Arab town caught in an eternal volatile valley. Now over-commercialized, Bethlehem was long the experience of a lifetime for Christians on Christmas. I'm not understanding. It was home for the Jewish people, but they don't believe in Christianity. And then they're saying
Bethlehem is supposedly the birthplace of Jesus.
Right. Well, why do you say supposedly?
Well, because the whole story is screwy.
Ah.
That's why.
Well,
Did you want to talk about that?
Well,
Did you want to be controversial?
What?
You don't want to get us kicked off the air.
Already?
We just got started.
Well, I do think that we need to have a discussion about it, certainly when we're talking about... Okay, so it's the homeland of the Jewish people.
Right.
Israel. And Bethlehem is in Israel.
It is in Israel.
But as far as the Christians are concerned, Bethlehem is the birthplace
of the Almighty Savior.
Of their Almighty Savior.
Right, of the Christian Savior.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Right?
Yes.
By the way, remind me to tell you about some really good marketing for some cheeses. Okay, for the cheese manufacturers.
Remind you later?
Remind me later, because I have some, it just made me think of, I just have a really great marketing plan for the cheese manufacturers of the world.
It's a brilliant market strategy. I can see them rolling it out every holiday season.
Every Christmas, right?
Yeah,
I think that it's going to be big.
Until, of course, someone blows up their offices. Then they'll want to pull that off.
I think it's going to be big for them, and I really think that it would encourage everybody.
Well, I think most of the ones with senses of humor will find it very amusing, but the fundamentalists that don't really have any sense of humor will be quite upset.
Well, how can you live in this life and not have a sense of humor?
Somehow people do it.
Really?
They get really worked up about nothing. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, we have to have a sense of humor with everything that goes on. I mean, there's so much irony.
Well,
the biggest irony is, this is the thing that what I was getting at was, so that's the homeland of the Jewish people, but the Jewish people don't believe that Jesus Christ is the Almighty Savior as the Christians do, right?
Let me
Jesus
fix something.
Jewish?
Let me fix something that you're saying.
Yeah.
Christ is a title, and Christ means Messiah. So when you say Jesus Christ, you're saying he's the Messiah. So
I should just say Jesus?
His name was Jesus.
Well, what was his last name?
He didn't have a last name. Nobody had last names.
Really?
There were no last names in use at the time.
Really?
They
there was
didn't
only
need last names.
one name?
Yeah, just one name. People today, some go by one name.
Who? Madonna?
Cher.
Okay.
Bono.
Bono.
No,
Madonna.
there's people
Okay.
all over the world that don't have last names.
But those people are famous. Oh, wait. I guess
No,
Jesus is famous, too.
I'm talking about I'm talking about poor people who live in third world countries. Some of them, many of them don't even have last names. They just go by their name. Leonardo da Vinci was not his last name. That's where he's from. He was from the city of Vinci. That's what that means.
Okay.
He
So Leonardo
had one
of
name.
Da Vinci.
Yeah,
Leonardo of Vinci.
Of Vinci.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because Da Vinci means
Da Vinci means of Vinci.
Of Vinci.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, there's many people even today that have only one name. So Jesus was his
If you
name.
only have one name, please email us or call us. So we want to know your name.
And to be honest, Jesus,
Not your names.
Jesus wasn't even his name. His
What
name
was
was
his name?
Yeshua.
Yeshua?
Yeshua.
Yeshua.
Yes, Yeshua. That's the
Okay.
Hebrew for Jesus.
He was
But
Hebrew?
He was an Essene Jew who spoke Hebrew.
He was an Essene.
Essene is a specific sect of Judaism.
Okay.
He was an Essene Jew.
Well, now, how can he be Jewish? And then we have such a split of Christianity, and then there's a fight and an argument over it, when really, truly, is that what's his name, Jesus?
Yeshua. But
Yeshua.
We can call
Sorry,
him
Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah, we can call him Jesus.
I think that's Spanish.
Let's just call him Jesus.
Oh,
That'll be much
okay.
easier. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So Jesus himself did not say that he was the Messiah.
Jesus wrote no books. Jesus wrote nothing down.
He owned no land.
According to the
Supposedly.
authors of the Bible,
Yeah.
Jesus claimed to be the Messiah. But there were many that claimed to be the Messiah at the time.
But did he claim to be the Messiah of the Jewish people?
Yes. That's the prophecy. The prophecy isn't that the Messiah is going to come and save all of mankind because of the sins of humankind.
Right.
That's not the prophecy.
Okay, isn't that what Christians
That
have
is
said?
what Christians
If
claim.
you're a Christian, then
That's
you
the claim.
will be. Okay,
That
that's the claim. But
Jesus is
somebody
the
else is
Messiah.
claiming that, not Jesus.
Well, people are claiming it for Jesus.
Right, but not Jesus ever. He never
Jesus
claimed
never
it.
wrote anything down. He never wrote any books.
But he was good to people.
And the books that were written about him were written 50 to 100 years after his death.
After he died.
That's like me writing about World War II.
Well, you don't know about
I don't know
that.
about it, and everything that I learned about it is from other people telling me. Which is hearsay, which is called a third party information.
And we know it happens when we play like the telephone game.
Exactly.
Even
the
between
telephone
just
game.
like the three of
you
those
go through
three
one
people.
person and it
one
changes.
person and it changes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do I love doing that, like when we're at a little party or something.
I think it's a great
hilarious
lesson. It's
'cause
very fun. It's also a great lesson.
We start saying
about
something.
the transmission of information.
And then at the end, it's a whole other thing.
Completely different. Manbogo dogfish to the banana patch.
Oh, I love that.
I'm sorry, that's a different joke.
That's a
entirely.
Steve Martin, and we have to claim. We have to give him credit for that.
So thank you, Steve.
Thank you. You're
Call us,
awesome.
Steve. You're wonderful.
He is.
We
is
love
he not?
you.
Yeah, he's great. He's
We'd like to have
hilarious.
you
Yeah, come on over. I know you want to come and talk with us, or just call.
We love you, Steve.
Love you.
Look forward to your new movie. He's remaking
Always.
the Pink Panther.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, good for
Yeah.
him. Well, he'll be very good at that.
And that's some big shoes to fill right there. Peter
Did you
Sellers
see
was
that?
brilliant.
He was a very brilliant
Yeah.
actor. Did you see
I
the
did
life?
not see his
and-
biography.
Oh, I shouldn't have
I did
erased
not
it.
see his biopic.
Oh my God, you would have enjoyed it.
I understand he was
tremendously.
kind of a jerk as a person.
I think
But
he
what
was
a
finding
brilliant
himself.
comedian.
I think he was always finding himself and finding where he fit into the
Yeah.
world, and he fit through his characters.
It's one thing to play a part; it's something else to be who you are.
I don't know that he was a
Hey,
jerk.
I like
or
that. That was profound.
Oh, did I skip
Let me
over
write
it?
that
Want to say it
down.
again?
No, that's all right.
Okay. I think I forgot what you said already.
I
What?
said it's easy to play a part; it's much harder to be who you are.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It really, truly is, and it's much easier to play roles
Right.
because you don't have to claim them.
And like Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage, and we are all players, and we play many roles in our lifetime. So we all play roles.
Gosh, I love Shakespeare.
What an incredible talent, and who knows how much of what he is credited with actually came from him. I mean, that's a remaining question to this day: is how much.
Well, he might have taken it from other people, but he definitely put it together and put his name on it.
No, it wasn't even that he stole it from people. It was just that he became famous, and so he coordinated with other people to produce their work under his name.
That's what
Not
I'm saying.
that he was stealing it from them,
No,
but that
that's
he
what I'm
was
saying. He was very
collaborating
smart.
with them.
He was still very
To
smart.
their,
He was
to
a really
their
good-
benefit as well.
And to his as well.
And to his and to theirs.
And to ours.
And to
because
ours.
we have a lot of stories, every
Because
story ever told.
it survives today. So because
Yeah.
he was incredibly prolific.
Which is awesome for us. And also a real admiring quality
Absolutely.
to have.
I'm a huge fan. So back to Israel.
Back to the controversy.
Okay. I think we're stirring up the pot that isn't presently stirred, but
oh, really?
But that's part of the fun.
Well,
isn't it?
I don't know if it's part of the fun or it's part of expanding our own minds and hopefully expanding other people's, so we have an opportunity to really discuss these issues that are very sensitive to people. They take them so to heart, and they just get so upset, like they think they really know the answer. And I feel very sad for the people that think they know the answer, because I think that discovering things, being able to talk about them, having an open dialogue, and keeping an open mind help us actually expand our horizons. But I do understand when you believe in something and you don't want anybody to push you off of that arena or anybody to push you off of that beam of understanding, it becomes very scary to think that there's a possibility that what you have believed for 40 years or 30 years or however long possibly is not necessarily the truth. Although I think if we do keep our minds open and have an opportunity to create some dialogue about the taboo subjects, which are they? Their religion, their politics, and there's something else. There's like 3 of them. Sex. But we don't. That's really not a taboo subject
sex isn't taboo anymore.
I mean,
sex is pretty much out there.
Sex is out there, but I think in families, people really decide not to talk about politics and religion.
People do still get really worked up about it.
They just get so upset about it, and they're so attached to their beliefs. And I don't want to shake anybody's beliefs, but I do want to be able to have a dialogue about it and uncover things. Because I think as we uncover things, that we see the irony or the ridiculousness of the separation. Because for me, everything is about creating togetherness. And I don't care what religion you are. If we find a way to bond with each other, it's going to be better. We're going to be a better creation as far as humanity. We're going to get along better. Instead of finding things that divide us, which I think saying I'm Jewish, I'm Christian, I'm Buddhist, I think that that's a dividing factor. Rather than saying that we're all human beings, we're all different colors. We have all different beliefs, and being able to discuss them openly and have dialogue. I don't know that I'm right or wrong. I just believe that those things are really fundamentally considered freedom.
I think you make a very important point about keeping an open mind. And it's very difficult to keep an open mind about deeply held beliefs, because we really do have a great deal of emotional investment in our deeply held beliefs, and to have someone tell you that something that you cherish may not be accurate, that can be very threatening, and people grow scary, very unsettling,
and get you very angry.
And people become very angry and very hostile when they're presented with information that contradicts something that they've depended on to get them through some really tough times. And that is the concern. And I've told people I don't wish to undermine your faith. I wish to add to your enlightenment. I wish to add to your knowledge. Now, if what I tell you is untrue, then that should be no threat to you.
Right, because how do we know for sure? Because we don't.
But unless you and I discuss something, then how are we going to know whether or not we agree or disagree? If we can agree to disagree, that's fine. But my concern is that I will express something and someone will become very upset with me. And I've seen this before when I try and discuss a taboo subject like religion or politics.
Sorry, we're very busy here in the studio, and I'm not going.
Somebody get that phone.
Yeah, thank you.
So it is a real concern, and we are a Christian nation. We're a secular government. But
what does that mean, a secular government? Like that it's not part of religion?
Our government is not allowed to promote any religion. Mm-hmm. And so that essentially is secular, even though the individuals...
Why did we pick on our money and God we trust, and why did we use the word God? Was it because America was built first with a religious base?
Well, the religious pulse is a very strong one. The religious impulse is a very strong one, and everybody believes in a higher power.
And we just happen to call them...
And we call that higher power God.
God.
I mean, the Greeks had gods, the Romans had gods, Jews have a god, the Hindus have gods. Everybody has the idea of a god, but it's sort of a generic idea. about something
a
that
higher
is
power
larger
than
than
us.
us and more powerful than us, and something that affects our world and our lives in a positive and negative way. I mean, many religions have negative gods.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And also some religions have devils.
Destroyer gods, and Christianity has the devil, which is sort of a destroyer,
like a
destroyer god. Yeah. So we believe what we believe. It's fascinating to me how, Christian parents have Christian children and Jewish parents have Jewish children. And clearly it has nothing to do with truth. It has to do with culture.
Well, it has to do with your upbringing and what you've been inundated with.
Right.
And
people can be converted by someone appealing to their reason, appealing to their heart, appealing to their mind.
Or their spirit.
Or in some way.
Or because they've comforted them.
And people can be converted.
I've had great people share with me and be with me in really hard times that are Mormons. And they're lovely creatures. I actually really appreciate what they teach and what they talk about. They're very family oriented. I
remember,
and very beautiful people.
I remember a friend of mine. He was working on his car. A couple of Mormons came ringing his doorbell. The Mormons came in and helped him work on his car.
Very nice people.
Wonderful people. Very nice people.
And they're inundated with always taking care of the family, the community, taking care of each other, looking out for each other. And they have a very firm belief in, I want to say, Jesus as well, correct?
The Mormon faith is pretty confusing, even for Mormons, I think, because they can't really decide what they believe.
Really?
And they've had many sort of
shifts.
Subtle shifts in their theology.
When did Mormonism come into?
It was the 1840s, 1850s, something like that.
But they believe in Jesus, and they believe in Christmas. Right? They celebrate Christmas, correct?
Yes and no.
No?
Some do, some don't. Saturday is their Sabbath, and they don't believe in material celebrations. They're a very, it's a devout issue to be humble. So there's no material celebration. Often they don't give birthday presents. They just don't celebrate things because every day is the glory be to God.
So every day is a celebration in a way.
The glory be to God. Mm-hmm. You don't share human glory. And the celebration is to God.
Is that with some of them? Because the people that I know, I don't think it's like that.
Yes, it's with some of them. And you could say that about every religion. It's with some of them.
Well, Christianity confuses me probably the most. Because there's...
the same thing I said about Mormonism. You could say the same thing about Christianity.
There's so many different sects.
They can't really decide what they believe.
Not sects, but sects.
S-E-C-T-S.
Yes, there's so many.
And they can't really decide what they believe and what they think. And they can't really agree. And they kill each other.
Why?
Because of their own faith.
How do you kill something because somebody else doesn't believe in the faith you have? How do you justify that? How does that ever right?
I saw a great bumper sticker on my way, here today. Where are we again? We're in Tel Aviv. I saw a bumper sticker on a plane. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So the bumper sticker said, "Please God, protect me from your followers."
Oh.
And it's a valid point because people kill in the name of their God.
But God never wants us to kill. That's not something that God's saying.
There are direct passages in the Old Testament where God orders his followers to kill.
But who writes that? A man wrote that, right?
I agree with that statement.
A man wrote that.
But the believers of the Bible don't think that man wrote it. The believers of the Bible call it God's word. Okay. Which is nonsense to me.
Well, I can understand.
Please don't kill me.
Yeah. Please don't kill me.
Please don't kill
God
me.
followers. But so I can understand when they say that God wrote the word via a man because there's a lot of inspiration that comes within or from within, and then I write it down. I write poetry. Or I write something, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's really amazing. That came from me, and I feel like it came from my higher source. So, I can understand where it could be like that, but still, no matter what, I'm writing from my perspective. I'm writing from my viewpoint.
That's all you really have.
Because, that's all we all really have.
We are all prisoners of our own heads.
We only have that.
And we have.
No matter what anybody says, they cannot be objective. Because
Absolutely.
We're all subjective.
We are all subjective.
We only have what's in our mind, and there's so many filters. Communication has so many filters. I can speak and say one word, and you can hear it and it could be totally different.
And I will think something else.
Perhaps.
Because I have some other meaning attached to that same word.
Perhaps we will think alike because we've been in the same family and we have some similar backgrounds.
But
we have different ideas.
We also have incredibly divergent experiences. Even being raised in the same family, even being twins, you still have different experiences, individual experiences.
Like our cousins, they're totally different.
And especially once you become an adult. Because then you start living on your own, you start seeking your own friends and knowledge and entertainment.
Purpose.
And depending on where your focus is, my focus has been education for decades. So I have sought knowledge in all its forms about just about any issue, really. I want to go back to something you said earlier about identifying yourself as Christian or Hindu or Jewish, and how that makes it okay to hate the other.
You mean it justifies your behavior?
Yeah, it makes it okay to view someone as not part of your group. Mm-hmm. That's called tribalism.
But is that not called diversity?
Well, it's called tribalism when I identify myself with one group,
right?
And everybody else doesn't belong to that group,
right?
So what I've done is I identify myself as animal, and now all humans are part of my group.
Which is really
all
important.
All animals are part of my group.
That's my group,
I still eat them because they're delicious.
Some animals. That you've been accustomed to.
They're delicious.
Cows?
They're delicious.
Sorry, cows. Yeah. You're very delicious.
They are. Sorry.
They're
just frickin' delicious.
It's true.
And I got to eat. So.
And chickens? They're pretty dang good, too.
I'm not happy about it. I'm not proud of it. But you're delicious. So I'm going to eat you. Here, boy.
Here, boy. We do breed certain animals
I do identify myself as animal, and that's my tribe. So all humans are my brothers. Thomas Paine, he said, all men are my brothers. The world is my country, and my religion is to do good.
Oh, and that's beautiful.
And I agree with that, absolutely.
I agree with that,
world is my country. You know, the borders between men, they were drawn by men. This idea that I'm Californian.
To separate.
This idea that I'm Californian? No. I grew up here in Southern California. I love California. This is where I live. But I'm not different from somebody who lives in Nevada. That's an artificial line.
Artificial separation.
Artificial separation. It's an artificial category. It's been created in the minds of men.
If you divide, you conquer. And people that want to be in power do well when they divide humanity.
If you want to unite a people, find a common enemy.
Right.
So this idea that we're against the Middle Eastern people and that this is
Middle
a
Eastern
fight
people,
between Christians,
we are not against you,
and that this is a fight between Christians and Muslims, that's outrageous. We don't want to kill Muslims. We have millions of Muslims that live in this country. We feed more people around the world than all of the other countries combined. It's amazing to me how they can carry American wheat and then say we want to kill them. And we don't. We don't want to kill anybody.
Because they've been brainwashed or they've
been brainwashed by their leaders.
By their leaders to think a certain thing about us, and they're being propagated to propaganda. They're getting propaganda in their newspaper and in their newscast.
This group is your enemy.
Yes.
And
so they can unite them.
And somehow it makes it okay to kill them.
And also so they can also unite their people and get people to rally behind them. I think that we should find a common enemy as humanity and as one world, because I really, truly believe that.
We must blow up Mars.
Let's blow up Mars. Yeah. No. I don't want to blow up Mars because I really think that we're one universe as well. I think that we're all interrelated besides one world. I think humanity, the country for humanity, is the world, because I don't know that humanity lives in other planets that I know of, or the humanity that we know of, which is us and like us.
It's like the Star Trek Federation. You know, you bring everybody into the group. It's like the United Nations of the universe.
Which I love United Nations. I'm not sure why they get such a bad rap, but
just because they're incredibly ineffective. That's all.
Well, the whole point was for them to be effective and not to be the police of the world, but to actually unite people. That's why it's called United Nations.
You do need a police for the world, just like you need police in downtown L.A. You need the police.
But have we all agreed on what the rules are and what the laws are for the world? Is that where the dispute is and why it's not effective?
I tell you, if you read that is the concern, and who is responsible for enforcing those laws? That's the challenge. It's easy. Who's responsible for making them and agreeing to them? Well, I don't think there's much dispute about what the laws are.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Murder is wrong. Stealing is wrong.
Pretty much the Ten Commandments.
No, not the Ten Commandments.
Come on.
3 of them.
Okay. 3 of the commandments.
Seven of them are silly.
Okay. Which ones are silly?
Honor thy father and thy mother. What's that? What if your dad's a jackass? What if your dad's a murderer? I'm supposed to honor that somehow? That's stupid. What if your mom is an alcoholic prostitute? I'm not going to honor that. I mean, I feel bad for her.
Right, but can't you just honor? Maybe it just means honor as far as honor them for giving you life.
You know that a parent wrote that. You just know that some parent wrote down, they need to honor me. Yeah,
they better honor me.
Yeah. That's not passed down from God. I mean, come on.
Well, come on, let's think about that for a second.
What are the other ones? Thou shalt have no other God before me. That's clearly an effort to isolate people that don't believe what I believe, and that's clearly an effort to justify oppressing people who don't believe what I believe. That's called conversion at the point of a sword, and it's how all religions became bigger.
How they propagated themselves. How they built an organization.
Either believe what I believe and profess belief in my God, or I kill you. It's called conversion at the point of a sword. So if
or you're going to hell.
Or you're going.
I mean,
to hell.
that's the reason why that commandment exists.
If my commandments from my deity say the first one, not that they're supposedly in order of importance, but the first one says no other gods. Okay, suddenly I have an order from my God that I can convert people, and if they refuse to be converted, I now have the imprimatur, it's called, which is sort of the official permission to put them down.
Okay, so
it's not pretty.
No. Any kind of death or any kind of killing. Did you want to talk
about 10 Commandments some more? Did you ever hear that George Carlin bit where he's talking about the 10 Commandments? He reduces it to like 2, I think.
What?
Don't do bad stuff, I think was what he came up with. Yeah.
Hey, you know what, though? I mean, those commandments
Stealing,
actually...
murdering...
lying.
And lying. Those are the only 3 that really have moved into human law.
Okay, in the United Nations?
Around the world, especially in American law. Not working on the Sabbath, that doesn't count. That's a stupid rule. What if my goats are loose? Can't I go get my goats?
And somebody always needs to eat.
Can't I milk my chickens?
Wait, no, you can't milk your chickens.
Oh, wait, I got ahead of myself.
Okay. No milking your chickens, mister. Chickens have very small nipples.
And no lips.
And they have no lips. Yeah. But you can kiss a cow.
I've heard that. Let's go cow tipping later.
No cow tipping. No? That's just mean.
Goat tipping.
That's just mean.
More goats
no
here in
tipping.
Israel than they do
tipping.
cows. So.
In fact, I think in Israel they don't.
What in the world are we talking about?
I don't think they eat cow in Israel, do they? I mean, that's not.
Yeah, the Jews can eat beef,
but they don't.
They don't eat pork. They don't eat pig.
Oh, okay.
But the Reform Jews do.
Okay.
That's an Orthodox thing. To not eat.
So now Jewish people
or
don't celebrate Christmas.
They do not. They celebrate Hanukkah.
And Hanukkah comes around the same time, but it has a very different meaning.
Very different. It has absolutely nothing to do with the birth of the Savior.
Because they don't believe he's the Savior.
Exactly.
Correct?
That's where we were. We were talking about Jesus.
And we were talking about Jesus because we're in Bethlehem, and we were talking about
Christmas, and we were talking about how that relates to the Arab-Palestinian issue.
I think it's just so ironic that that's the center, that Jesus was Jewish, that the Christians, that's the one that they pick, and then there's this separate. They divided themselves.
Well, I'm fascinated, but it's a Jewish prophecy. The Christians say it's the fulfillment of that prophecy, and the Jews say no,
it's not. And then there's a whole religion based on this.
A huge religion.
Huge, all over the world. In fact, you're saying it's predominant in America.
It is.
And also
Europe.
Yeah. Christianity. Yeah. Puritanism.
Right.
Is that part of Christianity?
Yes.
That came from that, right?
Yes.
And so many sects did.
Right.
Presbyterian.
Right. Episcopalians, Lutherans, Methodists, Calvinists.
I find it amazing.
Protestants.
All of those.
Catholics, and then, Eastern
how
Orthodox,
can we say that
Russian
there's only
Orthodox.
one God when there's all these different ways of practicing to reach your higher spirit?
Well,
to reach the higher spirit.
There's been a great deal of good done in the name of religion. There's also been a great deal of bad evil done in the name of religion, and that's human nature. Mm-hmm. Humans have within them the capacity for great good and the capacity for great evil. So it's not a function of answering to a higher power. It's a function of answering to our own conscience. And some people are without conscience. it is more important for them to have power and control and money and sex than it is to serve humankind. And that's just human nature.
But if we serve humankind, do we not have a better... I mean, this is the age of reason to me, I think. Do we not have a better chance of surviving, really, really surviving all of our generations to come and really making humanity better? I just think, you know how everybody says, save the world, save the planet.
Save the humans, save the whales.
Well, all that, but...
Save the elves.
You know what? Save the elves.
Yeah.
Really, the world will be okay.
The world's going to shake us off like a bad cold.
And really, the thing that we're making the mistake of is that we're not saying save the humans, because we need to come together, or we're going to divide ourselves and just kill ourselves. We have the ability to kill ourselves several times over now with nuclear weapons. And then also the really scary part, even more than that, is virus or bacteria, germ warfare. Those things scare me more because you can't see them, and it can just wipe us out.
Not even warfare, just the germs themselves, the germs that exist in nature, the virus and the bacteria.
Well, the germs that
already
exist in nature,
that
already exist, but we could actually use them against each other and propagate that, like with anthrax and all that other stuff that they do.
Anthrax occurs naturally in the soil.
All of the stuff is going to occur naturally. It's
but
how we harvest it.
It's how we're going to breed it, and how we're going to. They call it weaponizing it, which is to turn it into a weapon.
And it's very, very sad to me. I don't understand why other people don't see it so as clearly as I do. It's like, why don't we work towards making humanity better? Because if we do, we will have all the money we need. We'll have all the fortune. We'll have all the sex. Those things, all the economy will be there as well, because when we do good and we do right, it is actually better than when we don't.
Warfare is a huge driver of technology. I mean, that's where steel comes from. That's where airplanes came from.
But can't we find another driving force besides killing as human beings? Can we not become enlightened as people?
Killing is evolutionary pressure. I mean, that's what drives...
I understand that, but can we grow and change and really evolve as human beings? I just really think it's our birthright.
I don't think we can without conflict. I think conflict is inevitable.
But can conflict not come from making ourselves better, a different type of conflict?
But see, if I kill you, then I live, and you don't.
Yeah.
So if I'm prone to hostility, and you're not,
right,
then the opportunity from me to reproduce is greater, because I've killed you. That's the nature of dominance.
But can we get over that? It
don't
seems
think
extremely barbaric and very, I just want to say lower... help me out. It just seems like a lower mentality of humanity. It just seems like extremely base. And can we not overcome...
It's what's given us skyscrapers and medicine and airplanes and automobiles. It's the pressure to do better than the next guy.
So you're telling me I should just go ahead and get in the killing mode?
No, I'm not saying that.
Come on.
I'm not
That's
saying
what you're telling me.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that it is inevitable that conflict arises, and one of the ways in which conflict is resolved
is killing,
is warfare.
Okay, but can we come up with something else that maybe make us better as human beings and that will still be just as lucrative?
If two men are fighting over a woman, if two men are fighting over a piece of land, if two men are fighting over a bucket of water, how is that conflict going to be resolved without one of them dying?
How about if they share it?
There's not enough to go around.
They can't share the same woman?
No.
Damn.
Well,
some people do.
Well, they can. I'm talking about the bucket of water.
Well, can't
I was talking about water, which is much more valuable than sex.
Well, how about if they share the water and then go look for more?
There isn't any. That's it.
There isn't any?
There isn't any.
Well, if there isn't any, then he's going to die shortly afterwards anyway.
No, that water will sustain him. That water will sustain him
only
until he can find more. But if this other guy drinks it, both of them are going to die.
Actually, you only need a little.
That's evolutionary pressure.
Just so you know, as far as water goes, you only need a very little bit, like a thimble every hour, to actually sustain a human being if you are under pressure. Just so you know, everybody.
So should we all just sit around and live a starvation diet, just so that there can be more of us?
No, I'm just saying, if you are thirsty and you're looking for water and you have to try to kill somebody over a glass of water, you guys can share the thimbles back and forth for a little while and find more water. And you actually might find more water with two people.
But
you might have better chance because two people can go in different directions. And then you might be able to find the source of water faster.
How about three people?
Okay, same thing.
How about 10?
Well, I'd have to kill some of them.
See?
I'm just kidding with you.
I mean, that's evolutionary pressure, and that's actually what infant mortality is about as well. I mean, you make 10 babies, and only 3 of them make it to adulthood. And not now.
Well, I didn't make 10 babies.
I don't mean you.
Oh, okay.
I said you. I didn't mean you.
Yeah, I know. I don't have 10 babies. What are you talking about? I don't even have one yet.
I don't have one yet.
I'd like to have one.
I mean,
or at least 2.
I mean,
maybe 3.
Animal behavior. in
we
the
are
animal
talking
world,
about.
And we are animals.
We are talking about the birth of Jesus.
Wow, we were?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Since we're talking about birth.
What year was that? I don't know.
What year was it?
Nobody
Dan?
knows.
Oh.
In fact, nobody knows the actual date either. There's no mention of the date.
Why did we pick the 25th of December?
The 25th of December was a Roman holiday.
For what?
Called Sol Invictus, which is the day of the unconquered sun. It's 2 days after the winter solstice, where the sun begins to rise again in the sky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was a Roman holiday.
And the Roman Catholics got really...
Oh, you're confusing some words there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the Romans had nothing to do with Roman Catholicism.
Oh, okay.
The Romans, who ruled pretty much all of Europe at the time.
Did they believe in Jesus?
No, absolutely not. I'm talking about before Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Before Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, the Romans put Jesus to death.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be celebrating.
Because he was a nuisance.
Because he was a nuisance? Why?
Yeah.
Because he was Jewish?
Because he was
loving people?
He was stirring up trouble. No, he was a troublemaker.
What kind of troublemaker was he?
He was trying to undermine some of the traditional Jewish power structure. He was actually
Were the Romans Jewish?
No.
Okay, so why did they care if he was doing something to the Jewish power structure?
Because the Romans were in league with the Jewish power structure to control the population. The Romans didn't try to destroy the Jews.
They just wanted to control the population.
They just wanted to control them. And they didn't want trouble. They wanted to keep things under some semblance of control.
Okay.
They didn't want riots.
Is that why the empire fell?
No, the empire fell is because they were sealing their pipes with lead. And lead got in their water, and it made them all crazy and sterile.
Oh.
The word plumbing, it means lead.
Wow.
So they were sealing their aqueducts, which is the water carrier and troughs.
Right, with lead.
With lead.
And they were just making themselves crazy.
It got in their lead in their water, and it made them crazy and sterile.
Wow.
So that's one of the issues that brought down the Roman Empire.
That's quite amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, water again.
Yeah.
Water is very important.
Water is everything.
I buy it, in a bottle.
So do I.
I don't take it from the tap anymore.
I drink it every day.
Well, we have to. We're supposed to drink
Lots
it
of it.
at least 8 glasses minimum, by the way.
Or
it makes you like dehydrated, makes you dizzy and feel sick. I didn't know it. I was 35. I had no idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was dizzy.
You weren't drinking enough water?
I wasn't drinking enough water. I went to the doctor. He says I'm very dizzy all the time and I don't feel very well. And he's like, well, we did a little test and he's like, you're dehydrated.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
How simple is that?
And he says you need to at least drink 8 glasses of water a day.
Wow.
So I make sure I wake up and I drink 2 or 3
So do I.
right off.
And I sip it all day long. They say if you're thirsty, you've already gone too long without drinking.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know that. I didn't
sip.
realize how valuable water was until I was about 35, and then I realized, that's
good.
water is extremely valuable because we're just really big bags of water.
We are.
How much percentage of water are we?
Well, it depends on the material. Bone is about 60% water. Solid
Really?
bone is 60% water.
Bone is.
Yeah. Maybe it's 50, somewhere around there.
Interesting.
But blood is 90% water.
Blood is
And
90%.
and our brain is 90% water. Muscle is about 70.
Really?
So we're just, and skin is about 60 or 70, maybe 80.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, we're just mostly water. And that's what's most amazing
Are we salty
to me.
water?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I love salt and sugar. Is that why we need the salt and the sugar? Because we need that
the
balance?
sugar boosts our bloodstream, boosts the energy in our bloodstream, but the salt balances our potassium level. Absolutely. In fact, we can die if we don't get enough salt. Yeah, so water we need, but we also need salt.
Do we need sugar?
I don't think so.
But we need salt.
But we
salt and water.
certainly do get a great deal of sugar even from fruit.
Right.
There is sugar in fruits, and we should eat fruits and vegetables.
Is there sugar in vegetables as
We'd
well?
like to welcome our new sponsor, the food pyramid, the government thing. What's that? 5 a day.
That's
5 a day.
5 a day.
Yeah. And 8 out and eight
We've
glasses of
totally
water.
went all over the place because I know that we were really talking about, Christmas, and isn't it fascinating?
So there's no mention in the Bible about the date that Christmas was born, that Jesus was born.
Okay.
They think it's probably March was when he was born.
But how did it turn into the Christmas holiday after the Romans?
When the Emperor the Emperor Constantine was his name. Constantinople was a city that was named after him. The Emperor Constantine, had a dream. And in that dream, his shield had the Christian cross on it. And he won his battle the next day, and he credited that dream. So he actually made Christianity the state religion. And as soon as the Christians came to power in the 4th century, in the 300s, they converted many of the pagan holidays into Christian celebrations. Because you can't outlaw a holiday. People will just go still do it. What you can do is, it's called co-opt. You can co-opt a holiday and change its meaning. And so December 25th became the birth of Jesus. Easter, which was already a Roman holiday, to celebrate the beginning of spring. That's where the bunnies and the eggs come from.
Yeah, it was kind of...
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about Santa in a second, but...
Okay. But that's where the bunnies and the eggs come from, because they're symbols of life.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where the bunnies and eggs came
from?
I
thought absolutely nothing to do with Christianity.
Okay.
But Easter became...
Was it bunnies and eggs before the rise of Jesus?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. They're symbols of life. They're symbols of new life.
Right.
And it was a Roman
and
holiday.
Bunnies, they
it was even called Easter. It was already called Easter. So they didn't even change the name.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that tradition is actually longer than than the palms and all that other stuff.
It's a spring holiday.
Wonderful.
When the snow finally melts and the trees start to get flowers again.
It's very nice to have traditions. It is really nice to have traditions
the culture.
And for our culture, for us to grow. And maybe we can co-opt these events to become celebrations of humanity in another way, so we can all come together and do other things with them. Since they've already been co-opted, I didn't realize both of them. Yeah, Happy Kwanzaa?
Happy Kwanzaa. Yeah.
I don't know what Kwanzaa means, but
I don't know either. But the Christians are going to be hard pressed to give up anything. They're pretty uptight.
Yeah, well, they're pretty uptight. But what's really sad is they are uptight.
But like I said,
the priests are having sex with boys, so they better be pretty. They're
not all of them.
Some.
I don't know, a few.
Well, they ruined it.
Well, yeah, they did. They ruined it for everybody.
They did, and they're bastards.
The criminals are ruining it for everybody.
They are.
You can't even go outside at night.
It's very sad. And why do we let them? That's the other thing.
It's not that we let them.
Why can't those be our enemies? The people that are bad to us. Why can't the bad people be our enemies?
They are, but they're not organized. They're individuals who are doing bad things.
But why can't we get organized as good people?
We are organized, but if somebody's plotting to kill somebody, you can't tell until they do it. And then you can punish them.
Oh.
If you can find them.
Oh.
I mean, some dude, let me tell you this story real quick. Some guy walked up to, this was in response to why we can't find Osama bin Laden, is a CIA agent was talking about this. And this was his answer in response to why we can't find Osama bin Laden. And he said, somebody walked up to the FBI building in downtown, I think it was Detroit or something, or D.C., I forget which city. And this guy pulls out a gun and shoots 4 FBI agents and kills 4 FBI agents. And it took 4 years to find that guy. Because he walked away. After killing 4 people, he walked away. And it took 4 years to find this guy, and he was here in America. Still took 4 years to find him.
Why can't we be more organized so that immediately they're flushed out?
I don't know what that means.
Well,
organized and flushed out. I don't know. It's not a toilet, and I don't know what you mean by organized.
Okay, we have this big, huge bureaucracy called FBI.
If someone's hiding, how are you supposed to find them?
But they can't hide from having food and going to the bathroom and having other people if we all united in a different way.
Most of the world doesn't know that someone did that.
Oh, like he's not telling anybody.
And that's the beauty of America's Most Wanted. You get this picture in the frickin', on television. It's like, hey,
so
we're looking for this guy.
I love America's Most Wanted.
That's the beauty of the Amber Alert, too. The signs on the freeway now say, hey, we're looking for this car.
License plate.
Yeah,
yes.
Please help us find this guy.
See, that's what we're talking about.
But it needs to be immediate.
It needs to be immediate, but that's what we're talking about.
Or this guy gets away and he steals another car and you don't know.
But that's what we're talking about right now, is creating dialogue, having open communication, being able to communicate with each other, having an opportunity to share information.
The funniest part is when, some old lady turns in the actor that was playing the guy. Some old lady that was watching America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
She turns in the actor that was playing the bad guy. because this actor is now painting her house.
Oh. You mean in the dramatization?
No, in real life. The actor that played the bad guy, in the dramatization, is a house painter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she turned him in?
She turned him in, yeah.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
It was pretty funny.
But she didn't realize. She thought that the dramatization was actually real.
Well, she recognized the guy.
Right,
so,
from the dramatization.
From the dramatization.
But this is dramatization.
Whatever she thought. I mean, who knows what she thought.
Hey, you know what, though?
That's him.
Hey.
How are you going to tell? You're supposed to know the difference.
That's better. Yeah. She called, and they dealt with it.
Well, they beat the guy up and arrested him, so... I don't know if that's better, but
wait, they beat the guy up before?
I don't think they hurt him too bad.
Okay, but then he said, "No, I'm the actor.
I'm the guy. I was playing a part, lady." Yeah.
Well, that's different.
Pretty funny. It was a funny story.
But still, I mean, that's worth it. And if we actually work together as a society and as humanity, I think that we could. When I say flesh out, it is kind of like a cesspool or a toilet in a lot of ways, and I mean really get rid of these people in a way that. Will not harm us anymore, will not hurt us anymore, and will not put us at risk.
So it's okay to kill killers?
You know what though, didn't at one time Australia, wasn't that like an exiled land? Didn't people that...
Well, but see, it wasn't necessarily real criminals. It was just people that the British decided were criminals.
Oh, they didn't want around? They just pushed them out?
Yeah,
well, I guess we can't do that in the world anymore. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out.
There's nowhere to put
We'll have to figure that part out. I can't
Yeah.
figure that out on Christmas.
Okay.
I'm thinking about Santa.
Oh, that's right. It's Christmas.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did we forget?
Santa's coming.
Well, Santa already
Santa's
came
been
last
and
night.
gone. Yeah.
But when we're talking about... Oh, yeah.
What'd you get?
A lot of stuff.
I got teeth. Thank you for my teeth.
You're very welcome. And they're going to be gorgeous.
They are.
You don't have them
fabulous.
yet, but they're going to be absolutely gorgeous.
They're going to be fabulous. I'm going to get my eyes done and get the fat sucked out, and I'm going to go on an extreme makeover. A friend of mine goes, "Why don't you go on the Swan?" I go, "No, that would be extreme." Because they're women.
They're women. That you would have to do a sex change and everything.
That would really be extreme.
I was like, look at how far he's come. Danielle.
Somebody get that phone.
Danielle.
It's the hotel phone in the lobby here at the
No, sorry, we are busy, but we're not answering the phone, and I'm sure my assistant will pick that up pretty soon. So sorry for the inconvenience of the phone.
Where are we staying here in Tel Aviv? I'm sorry, Bethlehem.
We're staying in Bethlehem. And we're staying in a little manger.
Little manger, yeah, with the baby Jesus.
And so what I want to chat with you about a few more minutes, because we're just still talking about Christmas, and I know we kind of talked about a lot of different things, which I'm really always glad to talk to you about. Different ideas and opportunities, because you don't have a prejudice. And I think not having a prejudice and being able to communicate and talk about very taboo subjects, very, very sensitive subjects in a way that we're not wanting to harm anybody, and hopefully everybody understands that. We're not trying to...
I'm really interested in being constructive, but I also need to express myself.
I think it's very important.
My goal is not to undermine your faith. My goal is to add to your education. My goal is to add to your enlightenment.
And become a better human being as well, really, hopefully.
If in doing that something I say offends you, I apologize. But if in doing that I can make you...
He's talking to the audience, not me personally.
Yeah, I'm talking in the larger sense of you.
Yeah.
If I can educate you in some way, great. If you can educate me in some way, great.
Great. Email us or give us a call.
George Bernard Shaw says, "I don't care if I'm wrong or right. I just want to know which one I am." And that's a commitment to knowledge. That's a commitment to truth. And really, we are not in the age of reason. We are beyond the age of reason. We are actually beyond the information age. We are now in the attention span age. The information's there. How much of it can you keep?
And how much of it can you actually get?
Can you process?
Can you have come
in?
in?
And that's the challenge, because the information is
retrieve.
available. The challenge is knowing enough about enough to know which information is real and which information is nonsense.
So when did Santa come into this?
I have no idea where Santa came from.
I want to say it came from a German story.
Yeah, it was a German story.
Was it not
Same
a German
with the trees.
story?
The trees came from the Germans.
The trees?
Yeah,
what
the
trees?
Christmas tree.
Oh, was that different than Santa? Or was it the same time Santa came?
It might have been the same time frame. I mean, there's no really telling. There's no
really. So there's the tree thing that's
where
different.
Traditions get started.
And then there's the I believe that Santa Claus was
Saint Nicholas
was a person that would give to a lot of the children.
Right.
He would
steal from the rich, give to the poor.
No, that's that's another folklore.
Oh, okay. Saint Robin.
Yes, that's Saint Robin. No, but I believe that that was a real story, and that was a very nice story, and it really made you feel really like somebody was watching you, somebody was looking out for you, not watching you in a bad way, but looking out for you, that you would make sure that you also had joy through
that's what
at the Christmas year.
That's what patron saints are all about, is someone to appeal to who will...
But do you believe that Santa Claus was a patron saint?
Saint Nicholas. I think he was either German or English or something, but yeah, Saint Nicholas. That's where it started.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, he really truly was a saint.
Yeah,
Oh.
Santa means
Where
saint.
did the red suit and the...
Santa means saint, as
Where
in
was
Santa
this-
Monica means Saint Monica.
Where was the suit and the red
I
suit
don't
and
know
the
where
white thing
the
and the
big
beard
and the
and
North Pole.
huge fat guy? Where did that come from?
I don't know where the North Pole and the velvet suit came from.
Did they have to make it up so because it was so far away?
I think the whole thing's pretty wild. So,
It's pretty- yeah, let me just ask you a question.
Reindeer? What's up with the frickin' reindeer and the guy with the Rudolph and the nose and the
Very cute story, though. That was my favorite story.
The flying sleigh and the.
But I have a question for you. I was
just taking this
extremely,
back to my shop.
I was
love the Grinch.
extremely disappointed when I found out that Santa wasn't real.
Really?
Oh, really?
How old were you?
I don't quite remember, but I never believed anything my parents said after that.
Ouch.
I didn't believe them
that
because
hurts.
that was a big deal.
That's a big deal.
And I just personally would never lie to my children. When I have them, I will not lie to them. I don't want to lie to them. I want them to have magical.
You can tell them that Santa lives in all of us and that he represents
the
idea of giving.
Exactly.
And
we
charity.
can talk about the idea and the spirit and the story and have the stories and know the stories, but to really believe that there is something that doesn't really exist. And then for sure to find out later, every child is going to find out later it doesn't exist. Every child.
This is a Calvin and Hobbes strip.
So
where he
then,
talks
where do you go?
He talks about his doubts about Santa, and then Hobbes says, I have the same questions about God, because it's really the same issue that there's
what is really the truth. You lied to me about this. Now, what else did you lie to me about?
Right.
What else did you keep from me?
Right.
And there were other things that I found out that my parents did keep from me that also affected me greatly and has shaped me into who I am, and that's somebody that I will not lie to people that I love and care about, and that also that I cherish and that I want to look out for. I have quite a few godchildren and friends, and I just would never tell them anything. I'm not going to shake something in them that's going to hurt them if I know that they believe something, but I may change it or shift it a little bit to open it up so when they do find out the truth, it's not going to be so hurtful for them, between them and I.
You want to break
so
the
they know.
You want to break the news to them gently that maybe there is no Santa Claus.
But I wouldn't say it like that if they really believed it. But most of my,
unless they were 15 or something.
Then
it might be time.
I think I was like 4.
Yeah.
Or something.
I'm sure you were quite young.
I was very quite. I think it was right before they got divorced. There was some little issue, because I was like 5 when they got divorced. Yes, I came from a broken home. Thank you.
Badly broken.
Badly broken.
Yeah, broken in a lot of ways.
Broken in a lot of ways, but my love still continues for myself, for my family,
and for all of humanity.
For all of humanity, actually, and that really, truly finding some purpose is really about that for me. I mean, the purpose that I have come up with so far is that hopefully I'll be able to do something to help humanity.
Create a better world.
Creating a better world.
And we do that.
Creating a new way.
And we do that through dialogue. We do that through talking. And please don't kill me. And please don't be mad at me if just because you disagree with me. Let's not resort to hostility. Let's discuss it. Let's
do something new. Let's do something different to create unity.
Let's find out what you think, and let's find out what I think, and let's lay it all on the table and see who we are, and see what we can share, and see if we can find some common ground. And I'm quite sure we can.
I'm quite sure we
can
as well.
We can find some common
And also
ground.
the other thing is, let's find a way to unite rather than to divide.
I like that.
That's the most important gift that I would like to share with all of humanity today.
We're going to blow up the Martians then, right?
I think we should find another kind of common enemy.
Bacteria?
Yeah.
Bacteria. We need to wage a war on
bacteria,
germs.
viruses, germs. I mean,
I'll tell you, they're pretty tough, though.
Oh,
are they tough?
They're an enemy. That
and they're not
really
all bad either.
Some of them are really necessary
some
for
are
us.
Necessary,
so those are our allies.
Okay.
Right.
In our war against the bad germs.
Right.
Maybe the bad germs,
or maybe there's something else that we can find that would unite us, but not something that.
Not against other humans.
Yeah. No more other humans.
We should wipe out the. I don't know. Pick an insect you don't like.
No, we don't want to wipe out anything that actually we might need, because we need to learn how to
too.
live in harmony with our universe.
There you go.
Really, truly, because we're putting a lot of junk up in space right now, and we don't really know how that's going to affect us later, because we're pretty clueless. And those are really, really cool space exploration.
And we're putting a lot of stuff in our water, too. Which,
yeah.
In our food supply and our
very
water
scary.
and
That's what I'm talking
soil.
about. That's the germs and the bacteria and the things that we're building. The what is it? The the engineering. Wow.
I have no idea.
Those are really all bad words. Sorry.
I know, no, good words. I have no idea where you're going with them.
When you go to the grocery store now, they actually say they're engineered in a greenhouse with chemicals. They actually tell you what has...
Bioengineering?
I don't know. They tell you what has been grown artificially and that it's bioengineered or something.
We're feeding more people, though.
We're feeding more people, but what are we feeding? And what are we feeding ourselves? For those things that are bioengineered, there's like chemicals in them that we don't know how we really respond yet to. So it's kind of a little scary. These are like tomatoes and
it is scary.
And oranges.
Genetic
and stuff.
engineering.
Genetic engineering.
Is that that's where you were going?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what it says. These were genetically engineered.
Oh, really?
Fruits and vegetables and stuff, and they actually have to label. They have to put that label out there. And I read it because they have to also put a warning. And so I read it. I was like, oh my God! And it's almost every piece of fruit that I went by, or every piece of vegetable. I was like, what?
I tell you, that gene thing is amazing. We're manipulating genes.
It's amazing.
It
so
is.
maybe we can focus on that being our enemy, and then unite commonly as humans to do something better.
But what about the people that are in favor of it? For a variety of good reasons.
I'm not saying that there's not good. I'm saying the bad part.
To make sure it's done responsibly.
Done responsibly, also done.
I mean, that can be true of anything like stem cell research.
That can be done responsibly, and I think
that's important.
There's a lot of
people who are against it because they think you're destroying babies to do it.
But you're not destroying babies is the thing.
Well,
they're already dead.
No, there's some who... No, you have to produce more in order to study more.
Huh?
Yeah.
When the fetus is already coming out and it's dead and they're already going to have it, it's important to be able to utilize the material. That's really their point. They're not killing babies.
They're creating life, and then they're going to destroy it in the laboratory in order to study it.
Well, that's okay. That's a little different. Not inside the body.
No.
Not inside a person.
That's the question. Is it life?
I don't know.
Is 8 cells that would become a human, is that life?
And could life grow in a petri dish? I think not. It has to grow inside.
So.
It has to grow inside of a female universe.
I just read in the paper, they just saved the smallest premature baby ever. It was 8.6 ounces. It weighed less than a Coke can.
Wow.
And it was smaller than the palm of my hand. And this baby was born at 12 weeks or something, because it would have killed the mother. It was a troubled pregnancy. So they pulled this baby out of her, and it's spent a year and a half in the ICU in the hospital. And
is it okay?
It's going to live. She weighs like 4 pounds now or something, and it looks like she's going to live.
Wow!
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And that only slightly broke the record that was set about 10 years ago. It's 9-ounce baby who lived. This is just amazing to me.
Wow.
And in the past, 100 years ago,
no, that would not have happened.
The baby wouldn't have lived, and it would have killed the mom.
Right.
So that's evolutionary pressure right there.
Well, we certainly have it.
And modern medicine is changing evolution.
Well, we certainly have
Whether it's good or bad, it isn't up to me. Because, I know kids today, kids that I love, that would not have lived 100 years ago. So I might not have lived. Because, I've had infections and injuries that required
doctors and hospitals
and modern medicine.
Me too.
So,
well, America's pretty dang great.
It is. It's amazing.
And I think we can be the leader not only of the free world, but also in this uniting of humanity.
Well, this is part of community, though. Is that do we even need a leader? And that's the nature of the UN. You were asking why the UN gets such a bad rap.
Let's just say,
and because it's ineffective.
Be a pioneer
in terms of policing. I like that.
Pioneer of uniting the.
So you didn't necessarily mean leader as in charge, but leader as the one who's going first.
Yes,
I like it.
That's what I meant.
Cool. See, they used the word leader. I understood something different from what you meant. How scary is that? And
it's not scary. It's just the truth.
If we hadn't talked about it, we wouldn't have known.
That's right, but it's just the truth.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking more the pioneer of uniting humanity.
Like that. Pioneer.
Have America be the pioneer in that realm, cool. And hopefully I'll be part of that.
Cool. Are you wrapping up? You look like you're getting ready to go.
I'm wrapping up. We're going to say Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy holidays to you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for joining us, and it was really thrilling being here in Bethlehem talking about
Jesus.
The birth of Jesus.
Did you want to do your plug for the Dairy Council?
I actually am going to keep that a little secret right now. I'm sorry. I know that I wetted you guys' whistle. I'm really sorry. I have such a great idea. I promise you, you'll see it and hear it, and you too shall laugh.
It is quite amusing.
It's quite amusing, and it's
worth,
going to make you buy cheese.
It's worth the wait. Yeah.
It's going to make you buy cheese, I promise you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, everybody. Have a super holiday.
We'll see you next year.
Well, we might see him this year still.
This year still?
Oh, no. We'll see you next year.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.